Rough start to the show. Rough start to the show. Dang, that's not the way it was supposed to go down. Fire, bro. What's up? Night, let's go, nation. Let's go. Yeah, man, I was messing. I was trying to figure out some things behind the scenes and realized it was 6:03, and then I didn't put the thumbnail above me first before I start like I do. And welcome to live shows, Raider Nation. Behind the scenes look at how easily it can get messed up if you're not paying attention. Robert Pena's in the house. Jason, salute. Salute to you, Robert Pena. He's back. Jimmy's back at practice. What does that mean moving forward? We're going to talk about it tonight. Also, can we play up to the Lions level? And are the Lions really as advertised? We'll have to talk about that too. So much to get into. Get away from some of the drama for an episode and just kind of see what's happening. You know what I mean? Just roll with it, Raider John. You know, bro. You already know, bro. Fire, bro. We faced the Bills in Buffalo after their bad loss in week 1. That's true. Now in Detroit, after their bad loss, they suffered in Baltimore. Facts. It doesn't look promising, but I hope we do better. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that a lot. It's going to be a hot topic. Hot topic. You guys are coming here firing, boy. You guys are ready to talk. You guys are ready to talk some football. That's what I like. Let's go ahead and get the camera on, man. I already had it on before the music even started anyway. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Salute. Salute. Raider John saying salute. What's up? All right. All right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Night of the Shield right here on the Las Vegas Raiders News Review channel, brought to you by Independent Blind Studios, where I educate, advocate, motivate, and inspire people that are going through sight loss. Be motivated, be inspired to figure out the obstacles they have in life so they can live their dreams and live their best life. I primarily work with high school kids, primarily right now, but I'm looking to expand in mentoring more as Independently Blind grows. My partner, Kenny Clausell, and I are getting ready to do our adventure, and we're constantly looking for anybody who's going through loss, mobility, sight, hearing, whatever your loss may be. We want to help inspire and motivate you. That's my intro. That's what I like to do. Nice. It's a rough day today, man. It's not Wednesday no more. You're that much closer to Friday. I got called in early, so I gotta cover the morning shift. So I got to be at work at 5 a.m. So I'll do my best to get through this preview tonight and then go hit the bed. But let's go ahead and start off right off the top. Dark's in the house. Salute, Dark. Everybody saying what's up to Dark. Nick 209. Today is my Friday. Lucky you. What's up, Night and Nation? Lucky you, man. I wish it was. I feel like it should be my Friday. That's what I need right now. Fire Bro saying salute to Dark. All right. So let's talk about the Lions for once. Let's talk about the other team for a little bit. You know, not that I have much to say about them or much detail or an opinion, but they got smoked last week by Baltimore. And that's kind of been the hot topic, right? Is, you know, we had to face Buffalo and they just got done they got slammed and we had to deal with them. And now they lost to Baltimore, you know, Detroit losing to Baltimore. And everybody's talking about how the Lions are going to come in and be just as fired up. And again, we're competitive. We have good players on this football team. It hasn't looked right, and we've had to deal with this time and time again. But I'm going to say this, like Detroit, I got Detroit winning this game simply because they're a better football team than we are. We haven't shown that we can yet beat a team at their level, but we played teams at their level before. I don't think they're any better than Buffalo. I don't think they're any better than the Chargers. And I think that we could, if things are firing in all cylinders, we can make it competitive, at least competitive. That's sad that we have to sit here and have that type of conversation, right? That we're just looking to be competitive. That's sad. That's sad. And on that front, let's go ahead and jump into the first thing I want to talk about as it pertains to the Raiders tonight. Jimmy G is back at practice, which means as long as, there's no setbacks in his back or what have you, he's going to be the starting quarterback Monday night in Detroit. Interesting to say the least. Devontae took the podium earlier today. Devontae, it's weird. Like, I wish I had time to upload and we could have did one of my presser reviews where we kind of broke down what Devontae said, because it's not what he said, it's how he said it. It didn't really boast a lot of confidence when I saw him talking about Jimmy G. I do think there's a respect there. And I think the one thing that Devontae is avoiding is the thing that I keep talking about, which is physically, I just don't think he physically has the tools. He's just the injuries. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses or put the man down because I'm not in the training rooms. I'm not at practice. I couldn't tell you how bad he's injured or whether or not he could throw the deep ball like everybody that sees him do it at practice do it. He's just not doing it in games. And is he capable of putting a scheme together and operating an offense good enough? I mean, everybody's talking about, even in that last game, he was moving the football. And the week before that, against the Patriots, he had us dialed in, bro. He really had us dialed in. We were moving the ball downfield, getting into the red zone. We just weren't scoring points. So are we going to get that version of Jimmy G? Do we have a game plan? The interesting thing about the Detroit Lions is that they're like us. They use a lot of four-man front. They usually don't blitz a lot. But something tells me, because they're going to be looking at tape from us all season, and I think that game plan is going to change just for this game. They're trying to bounce back. I think they might try to blitz a little bit more. So we can't watch the Detroit Lions and think that they're not going to attack us the same way everybody else did. The bottom line, we got to get the ball deep somehow. The other thing that intrigues me, and we'll get more back into Jimmy, and I'm going to get into you guys and see what you guys are saying right now. But, as it pertains to the quarterback situation, I've heard different conflicting reports about who's going to be backing him up. I'm waiting to see if they finally slide AOC into that backup role, or they make him inactive and we run with Hoyer. Because even if we play Jimmy G, he's been injured off and on already, and it's just a matter of time before he takes that one hit that's going to knock him out, either for the rest of the season or for a longer period of time. And that's when the door needs to open for the kid. But I think he should be sitting back there waiting for that opportunity sooner rather than later, in my opinion. So I'm kind of waiting to see how that's going to develop as we look forward ahead. As far as what McDaniels had to say today about everything, bunch of wah, 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 wah. Just nothing really. The pressers today were more depressing than pressing. It's your standard dot the I's, cross the T's, say what we need to say, and keep it moving. Let me jump in the chat and see where you guys are at with everything that's going on today and the news about Jimmy G being back and what have you, or the Lions in particular. Dark, what's up, Dark? Hello and welcome to the Night of the Shield. Shield, smack that like button. That's my boy, man. Dark, hooking it up, dude. Hit that like button. If you're here and you have not yet hit that like button, do me a solid. Run it up. We got 11 of you watching and only 8 likes. Let's keep on moving that needle up, 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 up. All right, let's see. So let's see, that was Dark. See, and I jumped in. I lost my spot. We all good, though. Appreciate you, Dark, man. Let's see. Why is it not going down? All right, we got Pena. There we go. I was going the wrong way. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Now it's working. All right. Everybody's saying salute and what's up to one another, which is what I love to see. I love seeing the nation come together. Ray Gonzalez is here. What's up, Ray? Raider John's back up in here. He's got something for me. He says, if you can slow down their offense, their defense will struggle. They have legitimate talent, but don't see the stamina being able to last. If you can make them stay on the field, And again, Goff's one of those, and they just like we do every game this season, we're going to play that soft shell. I don't see that changing. And I'm with you. I'm with you. This is a talented team if you allow them to be talented. They're going to be at home. They're going to be in Detroit. But guess who else is coming home? The Condor. The Condor is flying home for Monday Night Football. And something tells me this guy is going to have one of his better games. He's going to be fired up. He's going to have a lot of family and old friends and old Amateur type people from college. He is going to be fired up and ready to go out there and make some plays. So that is a good thing to look forward to. And Goff is one of those guys, if you can get in his head, you have an opportunity. And this is like what I'm saying. Like if you look at the Buffalo game, if you look at the Charger game in particular, as we look back at the schedule and some of the struggles that we had, they're no better than those two teams. And Buffalo probably got to slip in for sure. That was the second game of the season, though, so you can kind of look at that as you will. I don't think the defense was up to snuff just yet. The Charger game, we were very competitive. The mistakes killed us the most in that game, so I think we showed a lot of competitiveness in that game. And then we won't even talk about the Bears game because there's a lot of reports coming out about jet lag and defense being tired. And again, that's a coaching issue. But you also got to put that on the players. The players have been doing this long enough now that they should know what it takes to go get the proper rest and get into the right state of mind and get your body right for game day, regardless of where at in the United States you play. Edgar V, we need AOC. We need AOC over Jimmy 911. I like that. Well played, Edgar. Well played. You know what? Look, they still feel that Jimmy gives us the best chance to win. And maybe they're right, especially the way that this offensive line is playing us. Like, I still say AOC with his arm talent can get the ball down the field and has a quick release. And I think that's what we need to open this thing up. But either way, Edgar, here's where I'm at. This is what I personally need to see from this Raider offense this weekend or this Monday night. There needs to be a significant energy shift in the style in which we play and attack these defenses. Something's got to give, right? I think John was even saying it a couple of shows ago. When you continue to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that's called insanity. We've been seeing this now. This will be the 8th week. We're approaching the halfway mark to the season, and we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot, whether it's penalties or not giving Josh Jacob enough time to make a cut. I mean, the guy's cutting as soon as he gets the ball. That's just not, a running back should not have to do that on a regular basis. They need to push the ball downfield. The conversation I'm having with Jimmy is you got to find a way to get the ball released. You know, Jimmy hasn't looked completely bad rolling outside of the pocket. Move the pocket. Do what the Bears did to us last week and move the throwing spot. Okay? Don't let him be a sitting duck back there. Roll him out a bit. Let him reset his feet and gun one down to Devontae, Trey Tucker, Jacoby. Get everybody involved. But push the ball down the field. Make them respect us and back off that line and get Jacobs going. For me, it's not even about a win or a loss, man. It's really not. It's about having the opportunity to push this offense into trying something different and work on something new, something that's going to change the numbers. And then as we do that, you put something else on tape for defenses to think about and really start trying to find ways to open this offense up. You're supposed to be an offensive genius. And I know, I mean, again, I don't want to get too heavy and all. We've beated this thing down to the pulp. All right. We're not changing the narrative. The narrative is he ain't going nowhere right now. We can't control that. And here's the thing. There was a narrative being pushed out there that if you weren't slamming the table and screaming for Josh McDaniels to be fired, or if you are and you're not supporting this team, either you're not a fan or you're wanting the team to tank. Far from it. I, for one, Don't want Josh McDaniels here. But I'm also not an idiot. Literally, at this point in time, midway through the season, we're not going anywhere. I see what we are. He gives us the best chance to win, and he gives us the best chance to lose. It's the way I look at it, right? Either it's going to change or it's not going to change. So it doesn't matter what you want. You want this team to tank? You probably want McDaniels here because it's not working right now, right? And if you want to succeed, putting in a Rob Ryan may motivate the troops, but Lombardi's not going to be able to coach this thing right. And there might be something to said to be changed and create some type of new offense halfway through the season. I highly doubt that. You're going to keep the same offense, so nothing's really going to change. So, again, I just need to see the offense change. The defense needs to get back on track. If we could find a way to pull out this game, maybe we go get a Montez Sweat. Maybe we go get Chase Young. Maybe we go try to make another play for some other defensive player. Because honestly, the secondary, even though you got Marcus Peters playing weak on one side, there's opportunity for us on this defense to make some plays. There truly is. Like we just need help on that pass rush. We need a more consistent pass rush on both ends. Tyree looked a little bit better last week. Was that situational? Was it because of the Bears' offensive line? We're going to find out this week, right? We need to see more from Tyree. We need to get Coons back involved. We need to get Max be Max. But if we could bring another guy to take some of the pressure off these young guys on the other side of Max and create some real pass rush, that's just going to help our secondary. Maybe we could play more press man. Maybe that's why they're playing so soft. I'm just throwing some things out there, right? I'm throwing a bunch of stuff against the wall, hoping that it sticks. But regardless, the only thing that I see that needs to change right now is our offensive numbers, especially in the running category. Nick 209, hard to get excited about Jimmy. I agree. I see him getting hurt again, and maybe that's what we need. And we're taking steps back. Possibly. This is what I'm saying. Possibly, right? This is where Josh needs McDaniels, that is. I got to remember there's Jacobs and there's McDaniels. So this is where McDaniels, Nick, he needs to stop, right? He needs to realize what he's been doing is not working, period. That means you got to change it up. You have to find a way to make it work. That is your job, period. Rafa's in the house. What's up, Rafa? So again, call it what it is, Josh. Understand what you got going on is not clicking. You have 0 to no running game, period. Figure it out. Is it the way the guys are blocking? Because to you, like if you listen to Josh speak, he lists everything else, and the last thing he says is play calling. That's his arrogance right there, right? But I promise you, even though you're calling good plays, let's say he's right, and he may be, right? Because we see in some of these plays, receivers are getting open. There's plays to be made, and then you could look at Jimmy and say, well, then you got to go to your quarterback and say, why can't you make these plays? And then Jimmy will say something as a veteran that he is, well, I ain't got enough time, or I don't feel comfortable because this pressure's coming from this side or that side. We can't get Josh going, and well, then even if that's a play that could work, Josh, the situation's not allowing it. So you need to say, well, what can we do? Communicate with Jimmy to figure out what can we do to call something different, a different type of game plan to make this work. And I don't get paid millions of dollars to sit on a couch and watch this game and figure this kind of stuff out. So, I mean, it's logical to me that what it takes is just change. Again, can stop doing the same thing over and over again because it's not working. Be a creative mind, draw up some plays that will roll Jimmy out a little bit and change his trajectory, if I could say the word right, so he has a little bit more time to push the ball downfield. And I promise you, that's going to help the defense. Because we could sustain drives that way. It all goes hand in hand. And again, I mean, I don't know. It's not going to fix our red zone woes. I don't know what's going to fix that. I mean, it's pretty sad if you can't run the ball and you can't throw the ball in the end zone. But something's got to give. This team has to come out with a different energy, a different fight in them. Because, all signs point to Detroit doing just that. Ray Gonzalez, the only hope we have is to score early. Jimmy can move the chains. He's shown that. He must throw the ball in the end zone. Fact. Okay, if not, the D will fold. We can't allow the Detroit Lions to do what Chicago did to us last week. We miss our opportunities, and then if they can jump on it and our defense starts to fold, we've already shown that we're not going to come back from a deficit. This team's not built that way yet. Nick 209, their defensive line is pretty good, and that's why they usually rush with 4. When offenses get going, they can be pretty good. Are you saying about our offense? Let's see. When offense gets so if I'm assuming you're talking about Detroit, and I agree, but I think that we could contain their offense and give ourselves opportunities like we've done in every game pretty much thus far, except for last week. I really think that if the defense can come out, make a few different stops, and we got to find a way. And if Detroit tries to put it all on their front, it would be the first time in a long time that this front would only have to deal with 4 rushers. It actually might end up being a strength if Detroit don't come out blitzing. Dang. Could you imagine that those guys ain't going to know what to do? Only 4? We're used to dealing with 8 or 9. Like, hell, 4? Jimmy might eat a sandwich before throwing the ball. It's going to be that to me is probably one of the most intriguing things I'm waiting to see. Because it's been highly reported already, Detroit don't blitz. They just don't do it. And when I say that, I don't mean never. I just mean they're not known to be a blitzing team. They rely on their front 4. A lot like we do. That's where we're designed, right? So, if they change who they are because of tape that they watch and how to really get to the Raiders, then you know that's the problem. And if they don't, then there shouldn't be no excuses why Josh can't get going. And then when they go to adjust and start blitzing and loading the box, this offense, Josh McDaniels, Jimmy G, and these receivers need to make plays downfield, period. AOC should be the backup. I agree, John, 100%. It jumped on me. I'm getting back up to it. Hold on. But Mr. Ego, Josh McDaniels, doesn't take preseason seriously. I mean it. It was obvious they were playing the same competition, and he was better. Now he's on that it's not preseason BS. And John, I want to thank you too, man. Hey, and it doesn't mean everybody has to do this, but you writing in caps, dude, it kind of helps me see it a little bit better. So I appreciate that. I don't know if that's done purposely or that's just you yelling, but knowing you're probably yelling, but it does help me. And it's true. Like, I don't believe in this whole, like, I'm not going to treat it like a preseason game, because it's not a preseason game. Genius Josh, like, make the kid the backup. Look, I'm all for Jimmy starting. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am, right? I still think, and I understand now why he feels that Jimmy gives us the best chance to win. I do get it, with the exception of the deep ball thing. But we truly haven't seen it attempted enough to feel one way or another about it. I say it's going to fail, but I have to see it fail. Maybe they need to see it fail. Maybe like it's something that the issue needs to be forced so we can make a better analysis on it and say, pull the guy. But again, from experience to skill set, especially reading defenses and doing all that jazz, okay, I'm cool. And I'm also cool with it because, I mean, this guy's already holding on to by a thread physically. So start Jimmy, but just be wise and put the kid his backup. The guy that's going to give you energy. Raider Nation, Jason's in the house. Salute, Jason. Salute right back at you, brother. Nation, Dark, what's up? All right, let's see. Raider Nation, Jason. Mark Davis knows. Oh, let me go back up here. Mark Davis knows McDaniel's plan. Everyone knew it's a 4-year plan. Mark is going to give JMD at least one more year. JMD still wants to draft himself a top 3 QB to develop. And you know what? And great comment, by the way, Raider Nation Jason, because this is going to be an unpopular statement, but I'm going to call it factual right here, right now. Okay? Like, maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's been the discussion the whole time. We don't know. These are the things, like, we're emotional. We're fans. We have every right, and this is the way that we should act. Like, I still want to be professional on this channel. I want to be as professional as I can be, but sometimes you can't take the fan out. It's inevitable. It's going to be a different type of professional just because I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to get pissed off. I'm just like you all, right? I'm not trying to work for another company. I'm not trying to be on ESPN. The only thing that would tempt me, to be honest, and I'm just going to be real, 100, I love radio. But I don't need it. I can create my own. I have a lot of plans on how to develop a show. I just need more time to do it, right? But I would be intrigued if a radio station wanted to, but I know I'm not that good yet. I'm not there yet. But so I'm just saying that would be the only thing that I'd be intrigued by is talking sports on the radio. But outside of that, like, I know what I am, and I know I'm going to be emotional. And right now, I mean, we're not winning. The common denominator from this year and last year is Josh McDaniels, in my opinion. So that's where my focus is at right now. But let's say the conversation with Mark, with Dave, because we've been heavy on that lately since the debacle in Chicago. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe AOC was a pickup late last year in the draft, but maybe they see him and they're like, yeah, it's great to have that piece there. But maybe Josh is like, maybe Josh has his eyes on one of those other guys. That's not an excuse for McDaniel. So as you guys start to add your thoughts in the chat, keep that in mind. I'm just saying, like, we don't know. These are things we don't know. And it's the worst sell job ever, if you ask me. Raider Nation Jason, I think, hold on, it jumps every time I click on the time thing. I think if we invest in our O-line, it would open up the offense. I question that a little bit, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Maybe JMD's offense can work with good pass blocking. Well, they shown last year and they showed times that this year the pass blocking is not the problem. The problem is everybody's loading the box, and they're just not doing it like they were last year, where they would load the box and say, I tempt you to run. And then we were still able to find ways to block, get Jakob in there to be that lead blocker and spring Josh for some big yards and some big gainers. It's much different than it was last year. They're loading the box and they're doing stunt blitzes and fire blitzes to get the run, to stop the run, right? And then if it's not a run play, they're just attacking the quarterback. And we haven't shown that we could pick it all up. And when we do, we're not making them pay enough for it. We need to hit some deep balls. Pause. Dark. He needs to realize that what he's doing is not working. Knight of the Shield. I agree. Fact, dude. And that's what it comes to, right? I agree, brother. And then he says, however, there's the however. However, arrogance is the biggest flaw of a narcissist. True. And again, someone told me this. I'm trying to remember how to say it because it wasn't a narcissistic thing, but it was more of being heard or wanting your opinion to be heard. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's it's not a flaw per se, but that's why I started YouTube, man. I'd like to talk things through. I like to have conversations, and I never come on here and say, this is exactly what, dude, I love. That's why do you think I try to go through the chat as much as possible? Let's talk about it, right? Like I can make a point, and it would just be a little bit off target, but then you got Dark coming in with this brilliant comment at the end saying, but arrogance is the biggest flaw of a narcissist. Beautifully said. And it just continues to add to it. We're almost saying the same thing from different angles, right? And it makes a sense. So this is where this is the bar stool talk that I like to talk when it comes to football, sports, life, whatever it is you want to talk about. Being a narcissist with me thinking that only my opinion matters, right? And that's where Josh is at. His arrogance won't allow him to see his own mistakes. Raider Nation Jason, this is the same line from last year. Fact. What changed? The way the defenses play us, period. The only other change that's there is at right guard. And at first, I didn't agree that Van Rotten was a problem, but I've seen a few plays anyway where I'm like, oh, damn, he is the problem, right? So can we correct that? Yeah, you just replace that dude, man. Just put someone else in there. Put Mumford in there. Slide Illumino over. These are the types of things that I want this team to start recognizing and making plays on. These are the type of changes that you could do in a game like this where what else do you really got to lose? What else do you have to win? I mean, again, like this guy's been around a long time, right? And we're not happy with his results, but you know that he's been around, and it goes back to what Dark was saying about his arrogance won't allow him to see this, right? But at the same time, he's got to know that this is not a Super Bowl contender, period. I mean, the clouds would have to open up and the sun would have to shine and there had to be a big old coming of angels and the whole 9 yards would have to happen just for us to even make the playoffs. So this is your opportunity, man, to like try different things. Expand your portfolio on how you fix offenses, bro. Like take some chances, push the ball, find different ways, start designing a different offense, something. That's what good coaches would do. And I guess that's why I'm upset. Raider Nation Jason, we also need at least a threat to run at quarterback. I agree. It's the new hybrid version of what we're seeing that the offenses need. Have you noticed that offense has been a little stale lately? And for the past 5-6 years, it's been a pass, right? Becoming a passing league. The response to that is they've changed the way that the defensive end position is valued first and foremost. Look around the league. Look at some of the good defenses. They got multiple defensive end rushers and good defensive tackles. They got a good defensive front, fast with the ability to rush the passer, right? That's the way defensive lines are made. The other big change that I see on defenses, right, is they play a lot more nickel. We keep hearing it. We're seeing it ourselves on our team, right? They're looking for hybrid type linebackers that are big enough but fast enough to both stop the run and cover it and drop in coverage. Why is that? Because it's a passing league. And so because there's been some success there, the quarterback position has changed. Now, having a dual threat quarterback and again, when I say dual threat, not every quarterback needs to be Jalen Hurst. Okay? Look at Patrick Mahomes. This is why I think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. He's mobile enough and shifty enough to move outside the pocket, just enough speed to outrun some defensive ends who are not taking proper angles. And then he sees the field. He never just commits to running the ball. He's always looking up, and he's able to throw the ball in many different ways and angles to make plays down the field. That is the ultimate of what I think you would want and are looking for in today's quarterback, in my opinion. Now, outside of Patrick Mahomes, you have the Jalen Hurts where you could do some option plays, guys that could throw the ball accurately but still kill you with their legs, and that helps open up the offense. But outside of that, it's very, very hard for pure pocket passers unless their arm is just extremely incredible. You see Justin Herbert at times, but even Justin Herbert can run. For a big guy, he's very mobile and can run. D. Nightwalker. I'm starting to believe that he would win a Super Bowl if he benches AOC this season. Possibly. He might believe that himself. Raider Nation Jason. Let's see. The part that cracks me up is people say, oh man, it jumped on me. Hold on. Let me go all the way back to the top, bro. The part that cracks me up is that people say Hoyer is on our roster because he knows the scheme. I've said that myself plenty of times. No, if this dude is playing like trash, that means he doesn't know the scheme. I don't think it's so much last week. I don't think it was so much the scheme, bro. I think it was, again, well, it was a scheme in the sense that I think they were really, really conservative. I don't think they let Hoyer play to any type of level because I don't believe he can. I mean, historically, look at the man's win-loss record. He's not a good quarterback. Good scheme or no scheme. It's one thing. He's a clipboard guy. Hoyer is a clipboard guy. And I'm right with you, bro, because I'm that dude that said he knows the system. We should be able to open this offense up simply off the fact that he could open it up because he knows the system, right? And this is where I believe Jimmy is a little different than Hoyer because even though he may not know the system as well, just from his skills as a quarterback is much better than Hoyer. So, and then with the kid, McDaniels is questioning his ability as a rookie to handle everything that's happening right now because he's seen him fumble. He's seen him freeze under pressure. That's just my thoughts, right? So again, poor Hoyer. He just sucks. But that doesn't mean he can't be an asset on the sideline. You know, help look at film that comes down. They put those photos down, kind of help go over it real quick. Talk about things that he's seen because he knows football. He can look at it and tell you what's happening, right? He just doesn't have the moxie that it takes to be good when he's behind center. John Leon, who will all right, I'm not reading this right. Who will be the backup? Who will be the backup quarterback? That's what we don't know yet. That's the big mystery. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping that they activate AOC. It just makes the most sense. It really does. I really think it's time to just simply say, Jimmy, drive until the wheels fall off. You get hurt. We're gonna roll with the kid. Let me put this up. Dirty Eric 1500's in the house. We need to consistently put up 7 and get our defense off the field on 4th down. Or get our offense off the field? No, he said defense. And get our defense off the field on 4th down. And again, that's been in the last few weeks, and when Jimmy has been playing, and then credit where credit's due, right? Jimmy has done a good job, regardless of the situation, whether he's had to throw it or find ways to get the ball in Josh Jacobs' hand. He's moved us down the field to the red zone. So, Dirty, you're right. You're right, Dirty Eric, right? Like, at the end of the day, we need to turn these opportunities into scoring opportunities. 7 points consistently. And even if we lose, it'll be much, much closer. But the defense has played well enough and stopped the other team enough, except for last week, where we would have won even the Chargers or the Bills if we could just score touchdowns. Lafayette, we should, by the way, welcome Lafayette. Good to see you, bud. We should have signed Carson Wentz. Again, I can't speak for McDaniels. Just trying to think about it from maybe a McDaniels perspective, I guess, would say Josh has been in his system before. I mean, Jimmy. And he felt that Jimmy would give him the best chance to pick up his system, and he knows who he's dealing with, that he wouldn't have some of the same issues he's been having, and it would be different. But he came in unhealthy, and I think, that set him back. And I think some of those injuries are holding him back physically. My personal opinion. Raider Nation Jason, why would Hoyer need reps? He's over the hill. AOC needs the reps. And at this point, we haven't gone over the 2 quarterback mark. You know, if they were really worried about that, they could, and I get it. It doesn't make sense to use your 3rd quarterback as active because he's an emergency quarterback at that point. He can play, you know, but you would have that opportunity, man. I don't know. I don't know what the big difference is with that and that rule, but I agree. He should just be the coach on the sideline. He should just be helping the guys, holding the clipboard, period. John Leon, if that's the case, if that's the case, trade players for a top 5 pick. Don't waste players' careers. And again, John, I mean, I think, Leon, that's a great take because we're seeing that with Renfrow. And again, I mean, me wanting Renfrow gone has nothing to do with Hunter himself. Hunter finds himself in a very bad position. And this would be my biggest knock on this regime and how they handled it moving in. I heard somebody talking about, you know, how they lied to. I think it was Raider Benther. I don't know if he's here tonight, but Ben, if you're listening, you had a good rant today on lunch, and you were talking about how we were lied to. We were told this wasn't a rebuild. I don't think they thought it was, bro. I really don't. I think they thought that they bring in Devontae, they have Hunter, they have Darren, they had Josh. Well, they didn't trust Jacobs, right? But they went and got some other running backs. They brought in their running backs. They had DC. They thought it was a playoff team that they could make it better. That's the arrogance we're talking about. And instead of just riding that first season out to see how it all played out, they gave contracts to DC. I don't mind the Devontae move. They gave, you know, to Max. I'm okay with that too. But why did they pay Hunter and why did they pay Waller? You should have seen that all play out first. That's just my opinion because they truly believed they had something and it blew up in their face. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they kind of put us in a bad financial situation, and it's making it hard to move on from really good football players because of it. But I mean, if there were some smart teams out there, they would go ahead and pick up Renfrow because I think it would make sense. Raider Nation, Jason, I feel better with Garbers. At least he could run. I would have felt better with. Are you talking about? I'm thinking Stiddy. I wish we would have brought Stiddy back. It would make more sense. I mean, not that he would have been the answer, but I liked his mobility, and he knew the offense. Obviously, there were some pros and cons to that kid, but I think it makes the most sense. Raider John, 11 rush attempts in the last game. And here we go. This is how I know he's yelling because he see all the small print up here. If you guys read Raider John's, right? He's talking about, you know, he had, you know, last game he had 11 runs. Then he real John, Raider John, like, here we go. With I wish I could. I should try to. I don't think I could do it with a backup quarterback in the game. With a backup quarterback in the game. I just hear you say it in real life, bro. How is this run game ever gonna get going if we abandon it, even when it's necessary? 3 yards to carry will still help your play action or help your action. I think you're meaning you help your play action pass. Just committing to the run, I get you. But there was many times, and often people say, you know, oh, why are they running it to the outside so much? If you look at where the opportunities are, it's on the outside, but people are not cracking down. They're waiting for it, dude. It's the way that the defensive front is playing us right now. This is where I'm starting to see the only answer is to find a. And when we say start stretching the field, you know, maybe it doesn't have to be that 48, 50-yard bomb that we've seen Hoyer attempt to do a couple of times, right? Maybe it's just a 25, 30-yard, you know, get the ball out. But if they're going to bring that many people, you got to make them pay with big plays on the back end. It's going to make them pull back, and we're not doing it. Lafayette, let's see. Sam Hartman looks underrated in the draft next year too. You know, and here's the thing, and this has always been my issue. Not only do the Raiders draft horribly, but it's a catch-22. I mean, look at Bryce Young, man. And I know a lot of that is probably situational. We've seen that happen so many times to players, right? We don't know exactly if it's his height. We've seen other quarterbacks be just fine at his size. Bryce Young still has an opportunity to fight back. But then you look at C.J. Stroud, one that wasn't as highly rated, at least coming out. Everybody, Heisman Trophy winner, we want Bryce Young, and C.J. Stroud seems to be the man. And he was the most confident out of them all, right? He was very arrogant and very confident in a good way. And you're seeing him perform. Protect the ball. He throws extremely accurate. And it's like, why didn't you wanted him? You offered, but why didn't you sell the house to go get him? That's what gets me. Lafayette speaks volumes. Davis would have a narc. I'm thinking narcissist. A narc and expect results. Next green game over. Next green game over. I'm lost on that one. Text green over. Results. Text green over. Help lighten me on that one. I lost it. John Leon. If they are tanking, I don't think they are. I don't believe they are doing that. I honestly tried to go after Stroud. Yeah, for sure. They should have traded for Stroud and offer up Adams and Jacobs for him instead of wasting their career. And again, maybe they've always had their eyes set on somebody else next year, or maybe even a year after that. Nobody really knows. And it's not like, they act like everything's under wraps. We're never going to know until it works or doesn't work. Right. Like, the question is can anybody honestly tell me tonight that when it's all said and done this year, if this continues, can you handle just another whole year, a whole another off season, and trusting that they're going to do the right thing? That's where we're at. And the excuse or the threat or the stigmatism, the stereotype, whatever word you want to use, of the Raider Nation right now is just, we're so tired of losing. We don't have no more patience. We got to smarten up. Is that what Mark says? Smarten up. Yeah, bro. Like, I don't know if I have the patience. I mean, I shouldn't say I have no choice to have the patience. I can be patient. I could talk it through. I'll do shows. I'll talk about it. But depending on how this whole season unfolds and how they use AOC primarily, if they don't do the right thing in the offseason and go out and really sell everything out to get that dude, we're going to have problems. Spencer Rattler is a guy we should draft, kind of like Mahomes. And I've heard that name. I haven't watched him a lot, but I've heard that name. I would definitely be looking into him. And the thing is that, to me, these types of players are only going to work if Josh is willing to change. And I guess that's my problem. I guess that's why I don't want him here more than anything else. Okay. This guy refuses to develop another system to adapt it to another quarterback. That's why he went and got Jimmy. He wants his system. He's not changing. He's that old dog that refuses to change. And I'm just like, how can we go get one of these hybrid quarterbacks and expect him to run this system? Lamar Jackson's arm is crazy. Lamar Jackson, like, what do you mean? You're talking about, it's strong. He's not the most accurate guy, but I've seen Vic calm down later in his years and got a little bit better at that. Raider Ben is in the house. Nice to see you, Jason. Nice to see you, Ben. John Leon, Stidham knew the system. He knew the system. I just don't think he had all the physical attributes. He was a little small himself. Yeah, I know that we caught the Niners off guard last year, and it made it extremely exciting, and I thought we had a chance there. But I also saw it fall out from under us the next week against the Chiefs when or was it the Broncos? Chiefs, right? where I don't think he could sustain. And I think part of it was size as well. Mile High Raider, what's up, fam? What's up, my High Raider? Welcome, bro. I have theory night once. I have theory night. What's the chance that Nathan Peterman gave up the Bears D, the scoop on our offense? It usually doesn't matter, bro, to be honest with you. And this is what a lot of people will tell you. It's when the call's played. Oftentimes they change the verbiage. Oftentimes, even if it's just little things. And at the end of the day, this is why you hear Josh in his famous lines of "We got to execute. We got to execute," because it really does. Sometimes, like if they're in a certain defense, and you call a certain play, and with Josh's offense, the word is right. You read it's that pre-snap. There's a certain play called. There's different variables of that play in that lineup, depending on what the quarterback sees. So when he calls that out, calls the mic, does his little adjustments at the line, then it really does become about execution in Josh McDaniels' mind, right? Could Peterman help with certain things that they could look for? Sure. But, I mean, this has been going on since the beginning of time, man. Teams will go out and get an offensive player hoping they can get some intel. It usually doesn't always work out that way. Ray Gonzalez, why did Renfro have 3 catches when AOC went in? It's a good point. And primarily because they were trying to protect things. And he was open, go figure. But I was shocked that was even done. Like, I don't know what's going on with Renfro, man. Maybe they were trying to highlight him. One last look, get him some looks in. See, he could still get open. He could still make plays. They are. I mean, it's official. They're trying to trade him, and he wants out, respectively. Rodney Jackson. Knight, what's up, bro? What's up? Let's see. I have lost all faith in this team. We might lose to the Giants and Jets, Lions, and Chiefs before bye week. It's a possibility. What do we do then? Well, I can tell you right now. We should lose to the Lions, but just based off what we know this season and how this has been kind of playing out, Lions and Chiefs should be tough games to even win, right? The Jets, kind of 50-50. Their offense behind Zach Wilson is inconsistent itself, but they have a really strong defense. So we have to, I mean, that game is not going to be as easy. I think the only one on here that to me that we should win is the Giants, but it's not so much whether or not we win or lose at this point. Because like I said, I think anyone who has half an intelligent brain to kind of look at and how this team has just reacted this season period, we're not going nowhere. So I don't think it's about the win and losses. I think it's more about the small victories, things that they could point out to say, this is where we improved, this is where we're really good, and this is what we have to go and fix. Especially if they're on this 3 to 4 year plan that we keep hearing that they were promised at least 3, right? And if they've been promised the next year, at some point, I don't think we do anything. Now we get blown out the rest of the way up until the bye week, and you really start to lose this locker room and the faith in some of the key players like Max, Devontae, Josh Jacobs, even some of the younger players that have the talent that you're kind of leaning on, like Michael Mayer, so to speak, right? And people are really starting to be like, "This, I'm done. We can't do this." I don't think that Davis has a choice but to do something about it. Adept H2OV1. I don't think Stidham wanted to come back. No, I think he wanted to come back, but I think he wanted to be a starter. But I could be wrong. Well, I could be wrong as well. But I think he thought that once DC was gone, he came in, almost beat the Niners, and he sat behind and trusted in and followed McDaniels over. He wanted his opportunity. And they basically told him, you're not going to be the guy, right? And he went somewhere else. So it would have been nice to see him here as a backup, but then he goes and he backs up Wilson, but that's not a bad move because Wilson's still not playing well. McDaniels threw him into the fire against the 49ers and Chiefs, two teams jockeying for home field in the playoffs. We just wrong. It was just wrong. No, I think that was a great opportunity to see the kid's heart. I saw the kid throw everything out on the line in those two games. He really tried to showcase everything that he had, everything he was about. He was a tough dude. I give him that. No fear, stood there. He made some great plays. He made some bad plays. I just think by his size, he was pretty banged up. I just don't think that they had a lot of faith in him being the long-term answer. And I think that's what he kind of wanted. I think he was looking for that type of opportunity, which would make sense that he would go back up Russell because it was in question at that point, still is. But he's not going to be a starter over there in Denver either. Deep HTO V1. All you are pointing out is that Ziegler is just as bad as McDaniels too. Hold on. Two peas in a pod. Quite honestly, yes. But here would be my caveat. Here's my difference. And again, this is really going to sound like I'm protecting Ziegler or coming up with some type of excuse, which maybe I am. But at least you could say that Ziegler didn't come into the picture till Denver. And he came in as a scout. When he went over to New England, he there too had a scouting role. And he was working his way up the ranks. Okay. He was learning their system, their way, and call it what it is, right? This is literally his first opportunity to be the man, to be the GM, to call these shots. And this is where you're right. They are two peas in the pod. You know, he's leaning on a lot of the Patriot philosophy that I don't think McDaniels understands like he thinks he does. So whatever it is that they're trying to implement, obviously it's not working, right? Certain type of players are looking for, it's either their scouting department, they're not doing a good enough job, or guys just don't get it. So I'm going to agree with you there. Fact. But because he's new at this, legitly new at being the guy and figuring all this stuff out, at least there's a ceiling there that you could say he hasn't reached yet, possibly. With McDaniels, who's been doing offensive coordinating at a high level for decades, almost 2 decades now, for him not to be able to get this offense to move, that's a problem. I don't think there's a ceiling there. And this is why I said last night, if Dave has anything to prove, in my opinion, is that when shit hits the fan, that he'd be the guy to do it if he's going to be around. If he wants to stick around and you know, he has to be able to separate business from friendship. It's not personal, it's business. But you're right. They're two peas in a pod. And I just say that to give another side to think about, something else to think about and chew on. But trust me, I believe that they're tied at the hip. If one goes, the other one goes with them. It's frustrating. D. Nightwalker says, it's frustrating watching McDaniels handle AOC. That's true. He acts like he has all the time in the world. And that's what's disturbing to me, D. Nightwalker. As if everything was perfect and we were winning. And not only that, like he has more time. Arrogant. Because he's arrogant because I really do believe he's going to have another year. For me, okay? I get it. Mathematically, you're still alive. But like I said, you got to be smart enough to know that this is not the team that's going to do it for you, Josh. Jimmy is not the quarterback you thought he was going to be. Jimmy is not the quarterback that he once was. And yeah, Jimmy was a guy who took a team that had a top-rated defense and some different type of offensive weapons, a run game. Like this is where we are not those teams. He physically can't do it. He's already been hurt. We still got a whole nother half a season to go. He's going to get hurt more. Dark, one of two. This new underrated, hold on. This new uncharted, I'm having a hard time seeing this one, man. It's not your writing, it's my eyes. Unhardened detachment approach with the players is not known to work anywhere else. No, true. If you look at every good team, chemistry, damn it, where'd it go? Son of a. If you look at anywhere else, and if you look at every good team, chemistry and building trust, developing confidence. Developing confidence are the answers. So again, you get confidence by winning, right? Which we haven't shown that we can do. Chemistry kind of goes hand in hand with that, right? Doing the same thing over and it's working and you're getting better each week and building chemistry. And I keep hearing these guys saying they go have dinner together. They need to be on the field together. Ever since I was in high school, I was a receiver. You always wanted to go hang out after school with the quarterback and go run some routes and have him throw you the football. Some of the greats, that's what they did. You remember Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison? That's all they would do, man. They would work on stuff until they got it right. That's why they were so linked so well together. So I agree with you. Deep H2O, when is it all said and done this year, record-wise, they will be no better than last year. I don't see that either. I think there's an opportunity to be worse, even if they don't figure it out sooner rather than later. And this is why I would play the kid. Just my opinion. Raymond Ramirez, sup night, sup brother. Let's see, 2 of 2. Here's Dark's second part. Let's see. Let me raise this up a little bit. The cornerstone of every good team. Let me do this again. The cornerstone of any good team. Damn it. Let me start over. Dark, I apologize. One more time. Here we go. 2 of 2. The cornerstone of every good team, any good and reasonable coach knows that this is a key fundamental to building long-lasting relationships. Fact. That he's dropping some mad knowledge tonight. Dark, JMD's approach is handling the team. Who will step up to the plate and let him know? Great takes, Jason. Right back at you, brother. Like at the end of the day, he really, really needs a big piece of humble pie. And this is why I said the other night, it's really going to take, Dave needs to step up. That's his position. He's supposed to be his boss primarily. That's the way that I took it in the offseason. At least, okay, so he has control of player personnel. I guess that doesn't necessarily make him his boss, but usually the GM controls the head coach. And I know they're buddies and they're tied to the hip, but something needs to be said. But even more than that, this is where Davis, I think Davis doesn't need to fire him right away. He could wait till the end of the season. Maybe he made a deal with the devil and it's a 3-year deal and we got to deal with it. But that doesn't mean you can't put the threat out there. I know what I said, dude, but if you don't start showing me something, I'm going to cut ties. I ain't going to do this. Unless there's something in the contract we don't know about. Deep H2O. No one will at Dark because the GM is, and I just got done saying this, is his puppet and not his boss. And I just talked about it, and Deep is taking the idea that it's just they're kind of 1-1, right? He might have the final say in player personnel, but he doesn't have the say over Josh. Deep, no faith in Stidham, but they go get an injury prone or an injury. Hold on. No faith in Stidham, but they go and get an injury-plagued quarterback and guarantee him 2 years. This is the problem that I have. And a 15-year career backup. Move up in the draft to get a quarterback and won't play him. and they did it late. It was almost like a desperation, like they felt like they had to have another quarterback, which they kind of did at the time. But again, like I was thinking right now, right? Why would you guarantee Jimmy 2 years? Maybe the intent was maybe they felt like they weren't going to get the quarterback, and that was plan B. I don't think you go and get a CJ Stroud or a Bryce Young in make Jimmy be a backup after bringing him with that 2-year contract, right? So do they give Jimmy a 2-year contract to be the guy this year and to be the guy that really is the bridge next year? He takes the bridge role next year. But once again, if we have our way, we're talking about them going and getting Caleb Williams, Drake May, someone like that, moving up and getting like a top 1, 2, 3 pick and get one of these main quarterbacks coming out next year. Typically, when you do that, they're starters, which I'll be the first to say, why does that have to be the case? I would be pissing a lot of those quarterbacks off. Like, I would draft them and be like, the intent is for you to start because I sold out and went and got you that high, but you still got to earn it. If you're not ready, you're not ready. I think any quarterback that we draft next year is better than Jimmy G, so I don't think that'll be that big of an issue, but you get what I'm saying. Deep. Sounds like McDaniels. Yeah, it does sound like McDaniels. Dark at deep. Biggest problem there is a balance. Very disturbing fact. I haven't checked the numbers lately. I only have 17 likes. I only have 12 people in here. It's a man. There's a Thursday night football game on tonight. That's right. I'm gonna chop it up as that, but maybe I'm losing it a little bit. I'm gonna have to call it here, guys. I got some things I got to do. I got to be up at 5. Actually, I got to be up at 4 in the morning, which I'm not used to. Dark. It's not your fault. Hold on. It's not your fault. I will type in caps if it helps, brother. You know what, man? It does kind of help a little bit, but it's just my eyes are getting tired too. My apologies, Jason. You don't ever have to apologize, dude. Don't ever have to apologize for me reading in the chat. I will get better at it. I think it's working out better as I just keep on doing it. But it does really help the caps. It kind of makes it bigger. Smack that like button on your way out. It's been a slow night, but hey, it's all good. That just means I get to come back tomorrow night and do it all again. I might even be earlier tomorrow because I'll be off work earlier. So keep your notifications on. For those who've been supporting, I appreciate you guys. I did get some type of monetization going on these things. So if you could just by watching and supporting and commenting and being part of the show, it means so much. It really helps out a lot. If you guys want to share this out, we have been growing. And I do appreciate it. There's a lot of stuff I know I got to work on my end. I'm working on it, but I just appreciate all your guys' support. Raider Nation, you guys mean a lot to me, and I'll find other ways to thank you. I appreciate you all. Dark, my boy, dude. Appreciate you. Thanks for all that you do, bro. Deep, right back at you, bro, man. I appreciate you and everything that you do. Thank you for being here and keeping the conversation going. Lafayette, I appreciate you. Nick 209, bro, you already know. Raymond Ramirez, thank you for being here, brother. Hope everything is well with you and yours. D Nightwalker, bro, you already know. Thank you for all the support and keeping the conversation going. Let's see. Rodney Jackson, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for being here, bro. Ray Gonzalez, you already know, my brother. Thank you for always supporting and keeping the conversation going. Maya High Raider, was good seeing you tonight, bro. Thank you for being here. John Leon, you already know, bro. Always representing. Raider Ben, busy man, works hard, takes care of his family, still gives his time up to come and comment on my show. Means a lot, brother. Thank you. Lafayette, you already know, brother. Thank you, bro. Such great takes tonight from everybody, man. Raider John, bro, you already know, dude. I'm gonna work on my take on how you do things. When I read your caps, bro, I just picturing your videos, man. Love you, brother. Really appreciate you, bro. Raider Nation Jason was in the house again tonight. From Jason to Jason, I appreciate you, dog. Raider Nation Jason, I already read that one. Lafayette. D Nightwalker. Dirty Eric. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for being here. I don't want to make sure I don't miss anybody. Rafa was here tonight. Rafa, thank you, Rafa, for stopping in and saying what's up. Let's see. What else do I got going on here? I think that's it. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Robert Pena, I know, was in the house. Much love to Robert Pena. Fire Bro, I'll never forget. I can't forget my friend Fire Bro. I appreciate you, dude. Raider John, Fire Bro, all you guys. Thank you for rocking with me all these years. It means a lot. Until next time, guys, stay Raider strong. Night out.